So, as many of you guys know, I rarely call an AI update insane, as most AI updates just don't matter. But that is not the case for Google Gemini 3 and Nano Banana Pro. I've spent a lot of time over the past week or so diving deep into Nano Banana Pro, and in this video, I'm going to show you 5 real world use cases related to marketing and content creation that you can use with Nano Banana Pro. And I'm even going to include the prompts for free, so be sure to stick around for the entire video. And if this happens to be your first time to the channel, welcome. My name is Ryan, and I help founders and executives leverage AI by scaling content, saving time, and building a strong personal brand online. And if you want to know my favorite AI tools, prompts, and automation templates, be sure to get my free AI Marketing Essentials Guide. You can find the link for this in the video description or pinned comment below. And speaking of my free AI Marketing Essentials Guide, this is where I've included all the different Nano Banana Pro prompts that I'm going to show you in this video. Whether that's for infographics, social media graphics, memes, headshots, etc., you can find all of my favorite prompts again by getting my free guide in the video description or pinned comment below. So first of all, if you haven't used Nano Banana Pro before, I'm going to quickly explain some ways that you can access it. And the very first way, which is my recommended way, is by using Google Gemini's website, gemini.google.com. I'll leave a link to this and everything else in the video description below. The reason I recommend this is because you can use it for free with any free Google account. You just have to make sure that you're signed in. I'm on a paid Google account, so I get way more usage than you would if you're using a free Google account. But another way you can access Nano Banana Pro is through Google AI Studio. Now, I love Google AI Studio. I think it's one of the most underrated free AI tools that exists. But the problem with using Nano Banana Pro on this site, if I click it right here, is that you have to link an API key. I don't believe that you can use Nano Banana Pro for free within Google AI Studio. You can use the previous version of Nano Banana for free right here, but that's not what we're interested. We want to use the best model available. You can also use a site like Higgsfield.ai, where it has Nano Banana and all these other AI image or AI video models in one platform that you just pay a reoccurring subscription for. Obviously, with these types of tools, or wrappers you could call it, they're using the API, and there's also probably way less usage than what you would get paying for a Google Pro account within that Gemini app. Another way you can use this is by syncing up your own API key with Nano Banana Pro and using it in automations within N8N, Make.com, Zapier, etc. And you can use a site like Kai, or I believe it's Kai.ai, where you can sync up an API key this way and then get more credits for a reduced price. So just wanted to point that out there, and I'll leave this link in the description below if you want to use Nano Banana Pro via API and not within the web apps like on Google Gemini's website. But a quick tip here from what I've found from working with this is that the outputs that I've had are actually higher quality within the Google Gemini web application versus using it with an API. I know that's not, 100% true in all use cases. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing from the work that I'm doing. So I wanted to call that out as well. So now let's move on to the good stuff and talk about real world use cases of Google's Nano Banana Pro. And the first use case I want to talk about is infographics. Now, the previous version of Nano Banana, and honestly all the previous AI image models, could generate infographics. The quality was just horrendous. The text would be misspelled, things would look misaligned, it's not branded correctly. Here's an example of an infographic that I created for my client in the cybersecurity and tech niche, where all I did, actually I'll just show you the chat here, where all I did was upload his logo, and I said create a visually appealing infographic based on this information. So then I gave it a title, which you'll notice the title right here, where age verification laws exist, with my logo in the upper left. And then I simply provided a bunch of information from one of our existing articles on age verification laws. So here's all that information right here. And then it did come out on that one shot where it was really good, but there was a lot of text, so I had to refine it in a follow-up prompt. And then here's what I got that second time. My jaw about hit the floor when I saw this come out, I'm like, you can't even find one text error in this infographic. Like, that's what's so mind boggling to me. Not only is this on brand as well, so we're using this right now. We've shared this on our social media accounts. We're using this within a blog post, within an email newsletter. So you can use these types of infographics for various use cases. But this, on like the previous version of Nano Banana or even OpenAI's image model, is not that good. I just can't believe how high quality this was for coming up with just a follow-up prompt. Even in one shot, this thing was incredible. So that's just one example here. And another way you can create infographics is by repurposing YouTube videos just from the URL or by copying and pasting the transcript. So here's another example. And all I did in this particular prompt was I uploaded my Ryan Dozer personal brand logo. That way it can study it for what colors I'm using, the fonts, etc. And I said, repurpose this YouTube video, gave it the YouTube video URL. I didn't even have to copy and paste the transcript because Gemini and YouTube are in the same ecosystem. It can process and analyze YouTube videos a lot better than Claude or ChatGPT. And I said, into a professional infographic with my branding. This one did take a lot more refinement compared to the first one, but after a few, refinements and whatnot, it ended up coming out like this. And this is very shareable, right? The text is all spelled correctly. The logos are correct for the most part, besides this like OpenAI one that's a little misconstructed, but that's besides the point, right? This is usable. If I were to try to use this on the first version of Nano Banana or OpenAI's model or the previous AI image models within Google, this would not be shareable or usable. So that's another example there, is repurposing YouTube videos. Another example to create high quality infographics is by repurposing existing blog articles. So this one's from my client, 5 Ways Dental Practices Can Use AI Right Now. So all I did was I went ahead and copy and pasted this entire content. And then I basically just said, let me go up to the prompt here. I said, create a visually appealing infographic based on this info, title it 5 Ways Dental Practices Can Use AI, put the text on the top center. I've attached my logo for colors and branding, keep the text minimal. And then I copy and pasted that blog post right here, uploaded the logo for reference. And again, this one also took more refinement, right? The logo was wrong. The colors weren't exact. And so then I uploaded a different logo. So they have 2 different logos they use. And then it came up with this, needed a little more refinement. And then ultimately it came up with this. This is definitely usable, right? Those first 2 versions I probably would not share on their company profiles or embed within a blog post, but it takes a little refinement and just making sure that your inputs are dialed in. You can get some very, very good, high quality professional infographics by repurposing blog posts, YouTube videos, and by also simply uploading a logo for branding and then just inputting any text for reference there so that it can create. But to reiterate here, this infographic really just made my jaw drop, and this is only going to improve over time. So infographics is probably my number 1 use case of Nano Banana right now. Now, another real world use case is creating shareable social media graphics that look like this. This is just a cool 3D image of the city I live in, which is Des Moines, Iowa. But obviously you can take this prompt and plug in whatever your context is for your personal brand, your company, etc. And again, you can find this prompt in that free AI Marketing Essentials guide. This prompt is a little more in depth here, so make sure you get it there. Another example that I used where it has these like souvenir magnets of Des Moines, Iowa. And also too, one thing I didn't even mention is you'll notice the weather is on here. So it says December 3rd, 33 degrees Fahrenheit. Because Google obviously knows the real-time weather of a given city, you can integrate features just like that. So these types of graphics tend to do very well on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, etc. And again, you can use the same process here for creating souvenir magnets. Again, I'll leave this prompt in that free AI Marketing Essentials guide as well. But the key here is to repurpose this for your particular use case. Obviously, the city of Des Moines, Iowa, a 3D image is not going to be relevant to your business. So make sure that if you're going to use this prompt, you can simply copy and paste this and say something like, repurpose this into my business and provide your website or upload a logo or any form of context that would make more sense to you. But that's real world use case number 2, social media graphics. Now, the third real world use case of Nano Banana Pro could technically go along with social media graphics, but I'm going to put memes in its own category. Now, I really like this meme in particular, and this did very well for me on LinkedIn. I shared it with a little caption tied to it where it has boring AI advice. Of course, there's only one person that wants that, but AI hype, everyone is lining up out the door for silver bullets that don't exist. So I really like that meme in particular. But where I'm going with this is that you can literally find, and this is the original meme that I found, you can find any meme online that is popular and you can upload it into Nano Banana Pro and then edit it to give your own spin on it. So I uploaded this meme and I said, I want you to replace the text of the following signs on this image and keep everything else the same. And then I said, I want you to replace the red sign with this text. I want you to replace the white sign with this text, right? You could do this for any meme, right? You could do it for the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other, the Scooby-Doo meme where they take off the mask of the bad guy, right? Any popular meme or just editing memes in general, this is a very, very good use case of Nano Banana Pro because the outputs from what I've seen in my experience are pretty flawless for this type of thing. So just something to keep in mind there. Now, the next real world use case for Nano Banana Pro that I'm going to cover is YouTube thumbnails. Now, there's a dozen ways that you could use Nano Banana Pro for YouTube thumbnails, but I'm going to keep it very simple, where all I'm doing is face swapping, right? So right here, the prompt is extremely simple. Replace the face in the thumbnail with my face, and then I attach my headshot right here as exact as possible. Keep everything else the same. And within a matter of seconds, it came up with this. Obviously, that's flawless, but the big issue here is that the dimensions aren't correct for a YouTube thumbnail. So then I had to come back and I said, I want the same image dimensions as the original YouTube thumbnail, but with my face. And that's what the final version came up with. Again, that looks just like me in the context of Mr. Beast. But what I will say is that it's going to get very old when we start seeing all these designers and YouTube channels just respinning thumbnails from popular creators like Mr. Beast. So what I recommend you do is that you need to find big YouTubers in your particular niche and then give it your own spin. So like one big YouTuber in my niche of AI and automations is Nate Herc. I've met Nate. He's a great guy. He's got a great channel. I'll leave it in the description below. And he really excels at his thumbnails, right? And so I took this thumbnail, for instance, uploaded it, gave it my headshot, had to do a little more iteration on this one, gave it, I needed the dimensions were incorrect, and then this is the final output that I got. Now, my face isn't 100% accurate based on that headshot, I would say, but this is very good, right? I mean, even in a couple of prompts, I can literally replace Nate Herc's headshot with mine, and then I would give it my own spin to this. I would not recommend just taking a thumbnail as is, replacing the headshot with yours, and then calling it a day. I would add different logos, maybe, edit the text a little bit, give it some more spice than just simply copying a thumbnail with your face. But I just wanted to show you how this could become a real world application, and it already is, very quickly. And if you want to do this, all you need to do is find the preferred YouTube channel in your niche, simply copy and paste one of the thumbnails that you like. So I'm going to copy this video URL of this thumbnail. You can use a tool like YouTubeThumbnailDownloader.com, paste that in here, download the high resolution version of that thumbnail, upload it into Google Gemini, and then obviously upload a picture of your headshot here, like I did here, and then use that following prompt where I say, replace the face with my uploaded headshot here and don't do anything else in that image. And that is what I got. But as I keep rambling here, that is the fourth real world use case of Nano Banana Pro is YouTube thumbnails. Now, the fifth real world use case I'm going to cover is a very simple yet very important one, and this is headshots. So in this particular instance, I took my official headshot with the Des Moines, Iowa skyline in the background, uploaded a picture of St. Petersburg, Florida that I got from Google Images, and then this is what I got with Nano Banana Pro. Now, you can definitely see maybe some discrepancies here, but this is very good, especially if your headshot's on like a smaller image size with LinkedIn, X, or other social platforms. Very hard to catch that. or you can do something as easy as just changing the background to a color, like a light blue or any other color that you prefer if you just want to have a generic headshot that looks like this. So the ability to edit headshots flawlessly in just a matter of seconds, I think is a real world use case that a lot of people might be sleeping on because it's so simple, but it also is very useful. So that's why I wanted to call it out. Now, I wanted to show you a few other use cases that I've been dabbling in with Nano Banana Pro, and one of those being landing page design. So all I did was upload the logo for my client, gave it the website URL for my client. I said, create a visually appealing modern landing page for my company. Here's my logo and my website. In a matter of seconds, it came up with that. Now, you can obviously go from here and try to vibe code a landing page with Gemini 3 and upload this image for reference. I'm just spitballing here, but landing page design is another real applicable use case. Another use case that I've been exploring, and this one still needs a little work in my opinion, is actually using Google VO3 or image to video technology. So within the Gemini application here, you'll notice an option under the tools dropdown for create videos, VO 3.1. So we can now use Google VO 3.1, which is its most advanced AI video model right now within the Google Gemini web application. And so what you can do with this is one of the graphics that I created for a networking group that I help run in Des Moines, Iowa. And I uploaded this graphic and I basically said, I need you to turn this social media graphic into a video for social media. Keep the text and everything the same. And in a matter of a minute or so, this is what it came up with. So I'm going to play a little bit of this as it even added some audio behind it. Now, it's not perfect, right? The text is a little blurry when you're going from image to video, but again, we're still in the early iterations of this. This is going to be very useful, in my opinion, that we can now have VO and Nano Banana Pro together in one interface. So I'm excited to see where that goes. And for those wondering how to remove the Gemini watermark from their outputs, I wanted to show you a few watermark removers that I've used that I've had success with. So the first one is watermarkremover.io. This one you don't get a ton of usage with. I think you get maybe 5-ish images before it locks you out and wants you to buy the premium plan. But another one that I've liked so far is thewatermark.ai. I'll leave links to both of these in the video description below. This one has had way more usage from my experience. And another important thing to call out about Google Gemini here, or Nano Banana Pro, excuse me, is that it can also detect AI images when you upload them. So if you come across an image on social media or some website and you want to know if it's real or AI, what you can do is simply come in here. I'm going to upload a file that I had saved from Google Gemini here, one of the infographics that I generated. Let's see if I can find it here on my desktop. And you can simply come in here and say, not video, we just want to say, let's upload that file again. You can say, is this image real or AI generated? And I'll skip ahead and wait till this output is complete. All right, so in a matter of seconds, you'll see this image is AI generated. I actually went ahead and removed the watermark from this image, so that way you couldn't necessarily tell that it was AI generated, but this was Nano Banana. So obviously it goes in and explains how it knows that, but that is another great use case here of Nano Banana Pro, is determining if AI images are real or are they AI generated. Now, one other pro tip for Nano Banana Pro that I want to share with you, if you want to create these high quality images at scale, I would recommend creating what's called a Google Gem. This is similar to a custom GPT, a Chat GPT, or Claude project, essentially a customized version of AI within Google Gemini. You give it a name, a description, give it custom instructions right here, and I actually use Gemini to help me come up with those based on my account history, and then you want to upload relevant knowledge. My LinkedIn profile, previous infographics that I've generated, memes I've created, my Ryan Dozer personal brand logo, my website homepage so it understands my branding better. Then you could come into the playground here and test it, and then you would click update when you're completed. I think you can create these on the free plan of Google Gemini. Don't quote me on that, but even if you can, I know your usage is very limited in what you can do with it. I do have a quick tutorial on how to create Google Gems. Maybe I should dive into this in more detail like I have with ChatGPT projects in the the past, as I've actually been using Gemini 3 a lot more in general for not just images, but other things. Maybe I should make a whole video, honestly, about Gemini 3 at this point with how much more I've been using it. But needless to say, that is a pro tip of using Google's Nano Banana Pro, is I'd recommend creating an actual gem so you can use this more at scale with higher quality outputs. So those are some real world use cases for Google's Nano Banana Pro that you can start using today. And if you've made it this far into the video, I truly appreciate you. If you found any form of value here, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I also want to hear your guys' thoughts on Gemini 3 or Nano Banana Pro. Let me know in the comment section below. But most importantly, I hope you all have a great day.